I have a lot of things that I like about myself. For one, I like my hair. It's super bouncy, colorful, and I find that it shows my personality rather well. I like the muscles that I've acquired over the years. I spent flip-flopping from one activity to the other, from being the #1 defense player on my soccer team to the fastest swimmer in my group of friends. But what I'm proud of the most is something I keep hidden. All of my accomplishments and stories hidden from view under layers of fabric, cotton, or polyester. What I'm talking about are my scars. You may be thinking, what? Why would anyone be proud of that? And first off, I'd like to ask you not to judge me, thank you. But I find that being proud of your scars allows you to open up more conversation. I remember during one of the showings of Mary Poppins, I was sitting in the band room during an intermission asking my friends about theirs. They had stories like, oh, well, I fell off my bike and onto a stick, and oh, I suplexed my neighbor's dog and it bit my ankle, or something along those lines. The point is, though, I learned new things about my friends through simply asking them about the history of their scar. You know, fun fact about myself, I have 40 scars and counting. Yeah, well, at least those are the physical ones, but I do have to congratulate myself. It's not often you get to see somebody closing a car door and slicing their leg open, so at least I have a gift to remember that. But on a more serious note, not all my scars have an amazing story. In fact, I have a set of identical scars going across my shins. The story behind that involving my dog wrapping her leash around my legs and bolting in the opposite direction. I got a friendly nickname for my sister after the fact. Yeah, she called me San Andreas because apparently my fall was 8.9 on the Richter scale. Well, joke's on her. I don't know what that means, so it doesn't affect me. Transitioning upwards towards my arm, which combined have about 20 scars, I surprisingly don't have much to say. I mean, I have a gross scar on my right index finger from when I was in, 8th grade. I remember I was in Miss Reed's science class. It was, 5th period, and I had already had a cut on my finger. It was probably from, grating cheese a long time ago, or something. But I was messing with the loose skin to freak out my friends. Well, we were working on batteries that day, and I decided, hey, you know what's a smart idea? Connecting the tiny battery cable to the piece of loose skin on my finger. Well, my friend yanked the cable off my finger, and it ripped a big piece of skin off, so it wasn't that smart in hindsight. I guess to finish, I can talk about the small scars on my hand and the long parallel lines on my forearm. I said to my friends I went to my cousin's house and was hanging out with their cat, which is weird because I'm allergic to cat dander, but continuing, the cat bit me and took chunks out of my hand. And it hurt really bad, and I had to have it wrapped for days. But that's just what I say to my friends. I mean, the real story hurts more than what happened in the fake one. Truth be told, I never said this to anyone because I was ashamed of what had happened. A while ago, I got diagnosed with depression, and I got super wrapped up in my feelings. I mean, sure, it's one thing to be like, oh man, I didn't turn in that assignment, I'm so worthless. But it's another thing to feel like you actually are. When you're depressed, it's hard to put into words how sad you feel. You feel as if you're sinking in cement and it envelops you, and you can feel it start to enter your mouth and sit in your lungs, and it weighs you down farther than you thought you could go. It feels like there's somebody squeezing your heart, adding more and more pressure until you feel the strings rip and tear and pull until you can no longer feel anything except for the emptiness around you. I don't remember what had happened to make me do it, but I felt empty inside. I didn't feel it. I had numbed my hand with ice, and I took out one of the knives from my mom's knife block. A voice in the back of my head reminded me, you're so worthless. You think anyone gives a crap about you? Oh my God, you're so pathetic. Maybe if you cut deeper, nobody will have to deal with your stupid, incessant whining. These hurtful things dug deeper in my mind and nested, a poisonous mentality hatching and burrowing its toxic thoughts further in my brain. Later on that day, I grabbed scissors, and the damage I had done couldn't be fixed. And as sad as the tale is, it serves a lesson. In fact, my whole story is a lesson. You shouldn't be ashamed of your past. It took me so long to be able to write this because I thought that I would be too scared to tell anyone, but it's important that I do. I've had struggles, I've experienced sadness, and I've fallen into the pits of depression, but what's important is that I'm still alive to tell my story. I wear my scars proudly because those are things that happened to me in the past, and that's no longer who I am, so I'm not afraid to say it anymore. I find that sometimes exposing yourself is good, and it helps you move on when you have the weight off your chest. And I hope that no matter how gruesome, sad, or painful your history may be, you find the strength to let go, like me. Thank you.